What is up, Panda YouTube? Today we're going to be watching a PGStats video. By the way, go subscribe to PGStats and hear about Jake's run at Glitch Infinite and what made it so special and how he was able to get third in the midst of all these incredible competitors. By the way, shoutouts to Cosmos and Zomba for top 2. Well, let's get into it.
We got the glasses, gonna be doing some analysis on this Steve. Also, I need to order more contact lenses.
Jake absolutely ruined so many top players.
Alrighty, Jake.
Steve has been a menace ever since his release.
It's true.
But one Steve main pushed the character to a new level this past weekend at Glitch Infinite. Smash
I can't believe you
latest
beat the buzz.
major held in Laurel, Maryland. Seeded 31st, Jake made 4 of the tournament's biggest upsets en route to a 3rd place finish.
He
Infinite.
did beat
Smash
the buzz.
Ultimate's latest
That's
major held in
crazy.
Laurel.
So who'd he beat? He upset Light, Caller, DeBuzz, and Gacket. That is a stacked set of upset. 2, 3, 4, and 6. Holy sh**.
That's crazy. Steve's
Third
kind
place
of
finish.
kinda
The best
good.
for any Steve player. As we detailed in Tuesday's recap, Jake's total upset factor of 27 for the tournament was the highest ever by a top 8 finisher at an American major. This was a huge
making
breakout
history.
performance, and perhaps the greatest evidence yet that Steve is going to be a major force in the competitive scene.
Like, I think it's insane. As like a Steve connoisseur, and I like seeing the combos, I watch Jake and I'm like, damn.
How did he do it? Perhaps you've seen some of the wild combos Steve is capable of. Dragging you across the stage, building blocks,
had to show
linking
ESAM.
up smashes, and
You had to boost his ego like that, huh?
Hey, they got the ESAM clip.
That's me. Go check out my Steve videos, even though I don't play the character anymore.
ESAM popping off that he got a Steve
Jake hit a few
combo.
up tilt strings for big damage, but the flashy combos were not the story behind Jake's run. No, to truly understand what made Jake's run possible, we have to go back to what makes Minecraft Minecraft.
What?
Resources.
Oh god, he's a camper. We have to go back to crafting. And how do you craft? You mine. And how do you mine? You camp on one side of the stage holding the B button.
So he
Iron
can't.
to use 2 of his most important.
True.
Smash has had resource management characters
Hey, subscribe to PGStats.
before Steve. Olimar has to babysit his Pikmin order and play around their attributes, much like he does in the Pikmin games, but none with quite as much going on as Steve. Steve has
I
to
love
manage
Pikmin.
resources in order to create blocks.
I never
He has
played
to mine in
Minecraft.
order
I
to
played it like
use
one
weapons.
time. I did like the
He needs to
modded
collect
version,
iron in order to use 2 of his most
where it's
important
like Game of
side
Thrones.
special minecart and the down air anvil. Not
True.
only
Jake gets so many anvils. The footstool out of shields he did against Pola were key. It's such an important defensive resource for this character.
proves incredibly powerful, both capable of killing sub 100, assuming you have the gold for powered rail minecarts.
Oh.
But they're critical to Steve's.
I didn't watch the Dom
as
set. That's the only
Steve's
major set I
walk
haven't
speed
watched of
is
his.
Steve's walk speed is tied for 11th worst, and his run speed is 11th worst all on its own. His airspeed actually falls into the bottom 10, landing at 7th below the likes of Incineroar and
So he kind of just
without
sucks.
the minecart to pick.
I didn't actually realize Steve was that bad. I guess that's what you get when you have a tiny Lego man. What about his jump height though? His initial jump being like that tiny little short hop. But I feel like that almost ends up helping him out with some of his combos.
Steve would find himself easily rushed down by speedy characters like Fox and Roy. If he wants to keep up, he has to keep mining. Surprising absolutely nobody.
That's so many minecarts. I mean, it makes sense because it makes it hard to hit him, but like that's a crazy breakdown.
P9 anvils.
I love these graphics from PGStats actually.
P9 anvils. Covering 13 games, that comes out to a per game average of 19.2 minecarts
What, like 7?
and 6.1 anvils.
Yeah.
Much of Jake's neutral is
Averaged almost 20 minecarts a game? That's crazy. Dude, that doesn't even include sets that were off stream. This was probably side beat over 1,000 times in one
the
day.
game as possible.
He used a lot versus DeBuzz. That's probably because DeBuzz is also a very defensive player, so he has so much time. DeBuzz on the other side of the stage trying to space with Luma or Olimar, and then Jake's just mining it up, baby.
I just got a sub, thank you. I'm offline.
Crushed by some sort of.
I don't know if I heard that stat incorrectly,
Jake
but
has not
that's
always
fucking
gotten
insane.
away with these minecarts. At his first major, Infinity Con, Ned repeatedly stuffed his jump minecarts with Sephiroth's counter, deleting stocks at absurdly low.
Yeesh.
Not so
Wow, he was at 20.
Not so much at Glitch. Jake was punished just over 4 times per game for his minecarts, and most of those were extremely light punishes, along the lines of a Fox Nair or a purple Pikmin taunt.
I will say that like getting hit on a minecart is more influential than you think it is, especially if you don't kill the minecart, because then Steve can't use his minecart until it disappears, which sometimes can take a couple seconds, which makes that particular advantage state like way worse. Granted, a lot of the characters he was playing against weren't edgeguard characters, so I don't think it would end up mattering.
Jake rained down scrap metal in the set against Dabuz in particular. A barrage of minecarts on one side against purple Pikmin on the other.
That makes
Jake
sense.
Spawned a ridiculous 134 minecarts.
That's half of his minecarts from the upsets. That's crazy from the 4 biggest ones rather.
Oh my god, what a waste of iron. Think about if you were in Minecraft and you're spending, it's like 700 iron to spend on all those minecarts. What a waste. In Minecraft.
Take one of the other Upstart Steve players from this weekend, Yori. Also a Bayonetta and Min Min player, Yori used Steve to make some major upsets of his own over the glitch weekend, taking out top French Captain Falcon player.
Yeah, who is Yori?
This was Steve's time to shine, okay, Steve?
Yori also matched up with Cola, giving us a great point of comparison. Another Steve playing against one of the players Jake upset. After losing game 1 with Min Min, Yori went Steve for game 2. Cola played almost perfect rushdown throughout the game.
Cole was really good.
Keeping him without iron in the resource bar for much of the game.
I don't know how you get away from a crazy character like Roy or Fox while mining. I want to see some more of Jake's actual gameplay in this. I want to see what makes him good.
Yori only used a combined 13 iron moves in that game. That's just barely above half of the 25 per game Jake used in his 4 upsets. Across those 13 games, Jake never used fewer than 16 iron moves in a single match. D-dog, the Steve from
That sounds
Staten
about right.
Island who made waves by double eliminating Tweak at Fusion 100, also had a fantastic performance at Glitch.
Let's go, Steve players. Get those dubs.
Noto on his way to 17th place.
And D-dog. D-dog did good too. I hope that Steve meta does not go the route of just building a wall and like camp farming. I hope that doesn't become the route of Steve. Like I hope Steve, like the way that Jake played Steve was very entertaining to watch. Spamming forward smash and stuff, you know, doing all this cool stuff. And then I've seen the other way of Steve, just one that I played against, where you just put up a wall and run away. That's not fun for anybody. So I hope the Jake way is the new meta.
So more mining makes Jake good, but how does he get away from Cola?
In yet another convenient twist for our analysis, D-Dog matched up with 2 of the players Jake upset in his Rampage, Light and Gak.
And he lost to both of them.
Analysis. How does D-Dog's iron usage against these players compare to Jake's? It's actually remarkably close. The 2 players used almost exactly the same amount of minecarts per game.
That's a lot. Like, the thing is, sometimes using minecart feels so stupid. Like, sometimes you're like, obviously they know I'm gonna minecart here, and then you get hit for the minecart, and you're like, obviously they were gonna hit me there. But like, sometimes you don't, and sometimes you don't feel like you have an option.
The only
It
difference
sucks.
being a substantially the same amount of minecarts per game, with the only difference being a substantially higher anvil usage from Jake, 5 to 2.7 per game. Jake won all 5 games he played against Light and Gact, whereas D-Dog won just 1 out of 7. And indeed, there's
Winning a game is still impressive versus Light.
resource management with Steve.
That matchup's also scary. When I played Steve more seriously, I hated the Steve versus Fox matchup. It just feels lucky
And it's
if you
here
win.
where Jake truly excels. Diamond management. Steve is a good character. Diamond Steve is a monster.
Last stock diamond. Oh, Papa 1 was right all along. You gotta keep the diamonds for your last stock.
Steve's diamond tools do 1.35 times damage.
That is
That
insane.
number might not mean a whole lot by itself, so here's some context.
I don't think I actually knew those numbers. So you're telling me that a diamond forward smash is almost a fully charged wood forward smash? That's
With the
Stupid.
exceptions, none involved.
So all your moves are like a fully charged smash attack. It's like you've been, every time you up tilt, it's like you've been sitting there building the up tilt up for like 2 seconds.
A fully charged smash attack does 1.4 times damage, with a few exceptions, none involving Steve. Must be nice to do a fully mostly charged smash attack without charging. Keeping diamonds on hand can be critical, because not only is diamond the best tool upgrade, but the other strongest tool upgrades, gold for better frame data or iron for 1.2 times damage, are resources better used elsewhere. Each gold ingot can be used for 4 powered rails, and we've already talked about how valuable iron moves are. 1.2 times damage is nice, but it might not be worth sacrificing iron for carts and anvils. To get
A little bit too
diamonds,
much numbers
you
going on
simply
right
have
now.
to keep mining. The technical details are
A little bit too what number. You know how we know what time it is. It's kind of late for all them damn numbers.
33 mines will make a diamond. So if you want to ensure
That's a lot of
you have
diamond,
enough
or that's a lot of
diamonds
mines.
stocks, you're going to need to mine about 100 times. To do that while some of the best
That's actually
players in the
crazy.
world are chasing you down is much easier said than done.
And he did it like consistently. Sometimes I play mediocre people and like I just feel like whoops, suddenly I lost 2 stocks and I haven't got a diamond. Whereas I feel like every single time I watch Jake or I play Jake, I'm like every single time he dies, he just diamond the next stock, like every time from main stage to now. Like it's crazy.
If you want to ensure you have enough diamonds for all 3 stocks, you're going to need to mine about 100
If you
times.
have 160 diamonds, how many carts can you make with a diamond? How many swords or something? Whatever. I'm doing a math problem, you know.
What? That's more than 3 a game. He had 4 in a couple. He had 5 against the Buzz in that game 3. Jesus.
An average of just over 3 per game.
Am I learning
In all
something?
but 2 of the games with
3 per game. A diamond every stock, so he's constantly dealing 1.34 times damage. That's so hard to compete with.
some of the games where Jake only got 2 diamonds, such as Game 3 versus Cola and Game 1 versus Gact, he simply won too quickly to mine the 3rd. In all but
He
2
simply
of the games
won
we
too
analyzed,
quickly.
Game 1 versus Light and Game 2 versus DeBuzz, Jake pulled a diamond within the game's first minute. Interestingly enough, Jake would win both games, perhaps in part due to decisions by Light and
Duly
DeBuzz
noted.
to play slow at the
Rush
end
him down.
to pluck a late game 3rd diamond.
Late game 3rd diamond is broken.
Clear game plan. Have diamond on deck as often as possible. We saw it pay off throughout the run. Everything turned in game 5 against
Yeah,
DeBuzz
this-
after
dude, this combo was so
Jake's
good.
forward smash cleaned up DeBuzz's second stock under 70%.
Got the rage.
Okay.
Fair. Yeah.
No.
So random. That was so random. It was so good.
Power of
You know, it's often the simplest tactics that end up being the best. You have the character that mines a bunch of resources. Why not just always try to make sure you have the diamond because it's just that good? You know, forget your fancy 0 to death combos like they were saying at the start. Forget all the fancy combos. You just gotta make sure you've got that diamond because you're dealing so much extra damage every hit.
throughout the run.
I didn't know you could have 2 diamonds at once.
5 against DeBuzz after this.
I didn't know they stacked.
This was clean. This was clean. I was like, oh my god. Wow. Got him. I was like, okay, because I like just tuned into this. I was like, okay, Jake.
89%.
That's one of the things about Steve that makes him broken is, like, you can play it the Jake way, or, like, Wood to me. When I play Steve, Wood and Stone are, like, my favorite tools because his combos work a little better when you have those because you do, like, you just ladder people differently. So it ends up being really, really useful to have the weaker ones because Diamond sometimes sends too far for, like, up tilt, no impact land, block, up smash. Whereas with Wood and Stone, it works really good. And that's the scary thing is you can play the Diamond way, and then like if you don't get Diamond, you can just hit jab up tilt at 50 in someone and kill someone. Like that's why Steve's broken.
It's opened my eyes. I definitely don't hold the B button enough when I play Steve. It kind of sucks, but that is how you play the character as effectively as Jake does.
Jake's a better Steve. That's what he got.
Jake plucked 11 diamonds.
3rd.
3-0 over the Moist. Thanks for watching.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's a game of who gets bored first usually loses, and like Steve just takes that, and he's just like, oh, word? I'm mining.
Jake beat 4 or 5 different like top players. That can't be a fluke, you know?
You know what? I was down talking the resource management, but I never really considered the not using iron for tools, saving the gold, and just only trying to craft those diamond tools. Okay, it makes sense.
That was a good video. So again, if you enjoyed this video, first off, subscribe here. Go down if you liked it, comment, tell us what you liked about it, and see what other videos PGStats can make. I know they made one about Tweak the other day before Summit happened, which by the way, I'm assuming there's going to be a Summit video. So go subscribe there as well. You should.
We will see you next time.